Hi and a very good day to everyone. So in this video, our group will be presenting on the topic of mathematics students' performance. Firstly, we are from group 5 and this is our group photo.
According to Nara and Abdullah, academic performance is described as a teacher evaluation of a student knowledge or lesson. It is also an educational goal to be achieved over a specific period of time that has been set out by the student and also the teacher. As we know, students are the most important asset to the government as they will take over the economic sector soon. In order to do so, education is the main thing they need to accomplish and given attention before they enter the real working world. The main aim of this report is to study the mathematical student performance with other predictors that may affect the student performance. In this report, a dataset of 150 students that takes mathematics course is provided. The dataset provides the student grade in mathematics exam, which is G1, G2, and G3. G1 is the grade for the first period exam, and G2 is the grade for the second period exam, whereas G3 is the target output that have relation with G1 and G2. They also provide a few attributes and predictors that may influence the student performance in their study. The attributes include the first one, the background of student, such as gender, age, parent job, and health status. Second is the student action in study, like study time per week, day of absence to school, as well as internet accessibility. Third is the student lifestyle, for example, involved in romantic relationship, travel time from home to school, and participation in extracurricular activity. Therefore, we are doing this study is to verify the student background, assess the student action in learning, and observe the student lifestyle. So, firstly, we will analysis on the student background. There is the pie chart for the gender. Based on the pie chart, we can say that the number of male and female is almost the same with only difference of 4 students. The number of female students is 77 students, which is higher than the male student with 73 students. Next is the age of the student. Most of the student age is 15 years old with 79 students, whereas the least of the student age is 19 years old with only 1 student. The median of this data is 15, which indicates that half of the student is more than 15 years old and another half is less than 15 years old, while the mean is 15.5733, indicates that the student have an average age of 16 years old. Next is the parent job. Based on the bar chart and pie chart, it is clearly shown that most of the parents work in the other field. There are a few parents that not working with the least frequency of 15 mothers and 6 fathers.
Based on the component bar chart, majority of the mathematics student has no romantic relationship with total of 117 students, which consists of 60 male and 57 female students, while there are 13 male and 20 female students that involve in romantic relationship. For the student health status, most of the students have an excellent health status with total of 73 students, as much as 48.67%, and there are only 14 students that have poor health status, while there are similar number of respondents with very poor, fair and good health status, which is 20, 22, and 21 students respectively. According to the bar chart, majority of the mathematics students took less than 15 minutes from home to school. Second highest is within 15 to 30 minutes, which consists of 30 students, followed by 30 to 60 minutes with 7 students. And the least is the remaining 4 students that took more than 1 hour to arrive at school. As shown in horizontal bar chart, we can clearly see that most students spend their time to study for 2 to 5 hours per week, with 72 students that represent 48% out of the total students. And there are only 15 students that study more than 10 hours, which represent 10%. The median shows that half of the students study for less than 5 hours and vice versa, while the mean shows that students had spent on average of 2 to 5 hours to study.
Next analysis is the number of school absence. The total of 193 days of school are being studied. Among these 150 students, 46 students has never skipped school. We can see that most of the students absent for 1 to 6 times only. This may be due to emergency cases or sick leave. From these 150 students, one student have a really bad record, with the total of 54 times, more than half of the school days. The teachers should give more attention to this. The mean of this absence data is 4.6, which means on average, the students skip school for 5 days. Participation of students in extracurricular activities. 54.67% of students answered yes, they participate in extracurricular, and the rest, 45.33%, do not participate. Among this percentage of yes students, 45 students are male and 37 students are female. We can say that most of the male students join extracurricular activities and most of the female students do not join. Male students are more active than female students. Students' internet accessibility. This to some extent affect their weekly study time. Most of the students, 129, has internet access at home and manage to study 2 to 5 hours per week. Only 21 students do not have internet access. We also can see that one student managed to study more than 10 hours per week, even he or she do not have the internet access. Therefore, at the end, what more matter is that the students effort themselves. The analysis related to mathematics students' performance. We will see the pattern of students' grade in the first, second, and final period. First period grade. The grades are scores from 0 to 20 marks. Based on the data shown, most of the students score between 9 to 11 marks, which has 44 students. With only one student different, 43 students are the second highest data with score between 6 to 8 marks. The mean of this data is 10.74. The median is 10.34, which means that half of the students score more than 10.34 marks and another half score less than 10.34 marks.
Based on this histogram, we can observe that most of the students score between 9 to 11 marks, with the highest frequency of 44 students representing 29.33%, while the second highest grade is the 12 to 14 marks with the frequency of 37 students and occupy 24.67%. The lowest frequency of 5 students is contributing to 3 to 5 marks with 3.33%. The mood is equal to 10.7222 marks indicates that most of the students scored their second period exam with 10.7222 marks, while the mean is 11.12 indicates that students score an average of 11.12 marks on their second period exam. The median is 11.1591 indicates that half of the students score more than 11.1591 marks and another half of the students score less than 11.1591 marks on the exam. Based on this component bar chart, students that get final grade of 11 have the most frequency, which is 20 students with 14 of female students and 6 of male students. Final grade of 1, 2, 3, and 4, the frequency is 0, which means there is no students that score that grade in their final examination. Unfortunately, there are also 11 students in total that get 0 in their final grade, with 6 male students and 5 female students. As for the final grade of 6, there is only 10 female students, while for the final grade of 17, 19, and 20, there is only male students, which is 2, 3, and 1 male students respectively. On the analysis of respondent profile, we can see that most of the students have working parents. This can cause the parents not to care about their children because they do not have time to monitor their children. Besides, the long travel time from home to school will also affect the result performance because they probably will feel tired or asleep after a long travel distance to school. The school authority should manage a hostel to the student who spend more than 1 hour to reach school. On the analysis of students' school life, some of them had absent for some day and even more than half of the total school day. This will cause the students cannot catch up the teacher's lecture. To solve this problem, the teachers should act on it by communicate with parents or the headmaster. Besides, there are some students that do not have internet access for study. Students might have difficulties on study as they cannot get any extra information or knowledge from other resources. Therefore, the school should take the initiative by asking for help from the government or collaborate with NGOs to get the free internet access for the students.